Hi Kindred, today we are talking about Laura Olympus again, and yes, we're in my car because this has been a crazy week and I've been wanting to film this and I haven't had any time. So we're gonna just do this real chill like and have a talk as if I was giving you the lowdown while we're on our way to the store or something. You know, a little heart to heart as friends, I don't know. If you're not familiar with this fantastic web series created by the ever effervescent and lovely Rachel Smythe, I've put the link in the description below if you want to catch up. If you don't want to catch up, proceed at your own peril. Hello, curiosities! Welcome back to our Laura Olympus talkback where we dissect character development, story, plot, things going on with themes, and what have you. Basically, we just delve right into the story because, bitch, that's what we're here for. So, quite a few of you have asked me to talk about Apollo. Ooh, there's so much one could address with this pizza pocket of toxic masculinity. We could start potentially by talking about his severe narcissistic tendencies, and I'm not talking about the common definition. I don't mean vanity. I don't mean you're so vain you probably think this song is about you. I mean that Apollo exhibits a pattern of behavior that shows an exaggerated sense of self-importance, a complete lack of empathy for anyone around him, and an excessive need for admiration. I am talking about legitimate narcissistic personality disorder. Now stick with me because there is a lot of evidence that supports this. The 9 classic traits of someone with NPD are as follows. They are arrogant, they're domineering, they have a sense of grandiosity about themselves, they have a preoccupation with success and power, they lack empathy for those around them, they have this belief of being unique, they have a sense of entitlement, they're exploitative of everyone around them, and they are envious of others. Now, Apollo has only been in about 5 or 6 episodes out of the 47, 48 so far. Like, we're almost to 50. And some of those episodes, he's only been like a text message or whatnot. But he's exhibited all but I think 1 of those. And the only reason that is because we haven't really seen him too much in his job. I believe he's bragged about pulling around the sun so far, but in this sort of like, oh, it's just such an ordeal to have to do that. So we haven't quite seen him in his, like, I have an obsession with success and power quite yet. I feel like we will as we get to know him more. And in regards with being unique, yes, he is a god, I understand that, but he's not the only Olympian. And if for some reason he was turned into a little singe mark on the pavement, I'm pretty sure we could find someone to replace him. Just saying. The truth of the matter is, it would be very easy to talk about Apollo's narcissistic personality disorder, or his rampant insecurity, or the fact that he's the poster boy for toxic masculinity. But we're not going to, because rapists don't deserve airtime. And yes, it was rape. Coercion is not consent. Forcing yourself onto someone until they stop saying no, or give you even a begrudging yes, is not consent. I don't mean to yell, I care about you, I love you, I want you to know this so that no one makes you feel shitty about their shitty actions. My heart goes out to Persephone. I know this woman. I was this woman in college. Just know. This is not consent. Oh God, it's not consent. And actually being able to admit that to yourself is huge. And it's a step. Being able to admit, like, oh no, someone raped me, rather than that was a bad one-night stand or that was a terrible night. That is a step. And my heart goes out to Persephone because I think she's still trying to work through that. She's already taken steps, and I think she's gonna get to that point soon where she actually can talk about it with someone else. And I want her to have a better support system that she can trust. All of her support system right now is tainted. Only you have control over your body. Just you. No one gets to force themselves on it or anything. When you say no, you don't need a reason. It can just be no. You don't have to explain it. No is not the start of a negotiation. It is the end of a conversation. Done. You can even say yes and then change your mind later. That's okay. It doesn't matter that it has to do with sex. People do this all the time, where something feels right at first, and then as you get into it, you realize, no, this actually doesn't feel right with me. And you should be able to communicate that with your partner. Someone who gets angry at you or calls you a tease or a bitch or an asshole for starting and then saying, you know what, actually this doesn't feel right to me, that person doesn't care about you. That person just sees you as a vehicle for sex. That's it. Get out of there. You deserve better than that. You have full autonomy over yourself. And fuck anyone who tries to tell you otherwise. Fuck Apollo and the sun-pulling chariot he supposedly rode in on. And by fuck, I mean don't actually fuck. They don't deserve you. You're beautiful. To hell with it. Let Hades deal with them. Wait. Hang on. We're not done yet. Speaking of Hades, just before I do want to keep this brief, but let's talk a little bit about Hades torturing this reporter real quick, shall we? There is so much wrong here, I don't even know where to start. Wait, yes I do. Hades! Violence is never the answer! No! Bad! This is also, unfortunately, a form of toxic masculinity. It's some real bullshit. It's the fact that violence is the answer to an offense, especially when in defense of a woman's honor. You see this often when women talk about another dude being skeezy or whatnot to their male friends, and the response is, well, if I was there, I would have punched his lights out. Ah! No! This is unfortunately a white knighting form of toxic masculinity. No! It needs to stop! Though, truth be told, if someone wanted to hand Persephone a bat and put Apollo's head on a little T, I'm sure we'd all look the other way if that's what Persephone wanted. If that's what Persephone wanted! We talked about this a little in the last video, about that he isn't checking in with her on things. Especially considering, at the end of the day, Hades wasn't really the person wronged. It was Persephone. He is correct. The only crime that reporter committed against him was trespassing. That is true. He can get him for trespassing. Everything else, that's kind of Persephone's obligation to decide what the punishment should be, rather than having someone make that decision for her without her knowledge. This is really shitty. Because while this is done subconsciously, the reason Hades is probably doing this, and I don't think it's intentional, I need to make that very clear, but Hades in his, I'm 2,000 years old, and so therefore I know better, and because I like her, I'm gonna take care of this myself, because I know what to do. It's because he kind of has a weird possessive thing going on that he's not actually aware of. Which is why, even though the slight isn't against him, he's sort of acting like he has the responsibility to take care of it. Because in his brain, again, he's not conscious that he's doing it. He does see it as a slight against him, like a slight against her is considered a slight against him. And again, he doesn't know why he's doing it, or that he's doing it. But we do. So this is an actual crime. Trespassing, bad. And the grievance he attaches to it, also bad. You know, you are not allowed to go on his private property. But what he tacks on to the end of that, ooh, hearing your little beady eyes on her. Hades, trespassing, and him looking at her are very separate things. They are not related. And when you put them in the same sentence like this, it sort of gives the unintentional implication that you view Persephone as sort of your property. Because a reporter looking at her in any other context, he wasn't being a peeping Tom. She was fully dressed and walking outside of the house. If he wasn't trespassing, there would be no crime. But because that's added on to trespassing, it's like you've trespassed onto what is mine by looking at her. Hades, no. But there is a redeeming thing for our blue boy here, because I do firmly believe if someone, hopefully Hecate, were to point out, hey, this is some weird, kind of shitty behavior, or maybe Persephone will point it out, that'd be great too. But if someone were to point it out to Hades and go, hey, this and this, and like really make him look at it, I do believe he'd have the oh shit moment. I think he is capable of that growth. I see it in him. You see he wants to be good. And he's doing this out of this, like, he wants to do right by her. He wants to do right by people, and he doesn't want anyone to hurt her. And this is sort of where toxic masculinity and white knighting kind of go hand in hand pretty often, because he's making a decision on her behalf as if like he had that responsibility over her. He doesn't. Persephone is an adult. She's responsible for her own actions. She's responsible for taking care of her own stuff. If she had asked him to take care of this for her, that'd be completely different. We'd be talking about some other issues. But he did this without her consent, and it's still, Persephone's got this issue with, because she appears to be innocent and naive, and on something she is naive, don't get me wrong, but she's very capable, and often a lot more capable than she lets on. But we'll talk about that when we talk more about Persephone later, because I do love her, but girl's got some of her own little manipulation tactics, and we've seen them already a little. But the point is, because people perceive her to be this innocent little cinnamon bun, incapable of taking care of herself, they often impose what they think is best for her. Obviously, in Apollo's case, this was not really, I believe this is what's best for you. It's, I'm so entitled, I believe that of course you actually want this. I believe that you couldn't resist me. He's him. But in Hades' case, while it is not the same, I'm not putting them on the same shelf. Please be aware that I'm not comparing them to each other like that. But they are doing two different kind of grievances by imposing what they believe she needs on her. And Hades is trying to do right by her. But this will blow up in his face. And frankly, maybe he needs that. Maybe he needs to do something really shitty so that Persephone will call him on, dude, that's really shitty, and they can have a conversation and sort of break down these preconceptions they have of each other, because they both sort of have each other on weird pedestals, and that needs to be, that we can't have that happen. I get it, he's a much older god, he's very powerful, he's the king of the underworld, but for this to be a relationship in the future that will be healthy and work, they need to be on equal ground. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry we did this in my car. It's been a crazy week, you guys. For those of you who've never seen me do a car video before, don't worry. I am safe. I'm always going straight if you see both hands, and my knee is actually holding the steering wheel. I am a very gesticular person. Shocking, I know. So don't worry. This is LA traffic. I know it pretty dang well at this point, and it's fine. But thank you so much for watching. Please comment below in regards to your current thoughts on what's going next, or if you'd like to see me talk about something else. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe it. It really helps me out with like the SEO. As we know, YouTube's not super great about catering to its creators that much anymore. Bless them. Like to think they're doing their best, but who knows? Take care of yourselves. Good fortune, joy hunters, and until next time, stay curious. Bye.